Hello, welcome to my channel today. This is a King's Tutor. The first time of joining us, thank you for clicking this. Ensure you like, you comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Okay, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support thus far. Now, today we want to see IS16, which is a property, plant, and equipment, popularly known as PPE. Okay, now this should be relevant for those writing a professional examination like the ICAN, the ACCA, the ICAG, that's for Ghana, or the ZICA. Okay, so it will be relevant. So we want to see everything as regards a property, plant, and equipment, their cost, their recognition, their disclosures, and how to record it in the financial statement. Okay, so and also the procedural method around it. Okay, so if it is what you want to see and other professional accounting videos, ensure you subscribe to this channel. Okay, so IS16 has to do with property, plant, and equipment. Okay, now what is property, plant, and equipment? Now, if you watch closely, there are three different names that has a requirement for any item to fall into it. So we said property, plant, and equipment, which is known as the PPE. Okay, so the property, plant, and equipment are tangible items that are held for use in the production or supply of goods and services, or for rentals to others for administrative purposes, and are expected to be used for more than one period. Okay, and I expect to be used for more than one period, meaning that they should be durable and not something that is consumed at once. Okay, so like I said, the PPE, which is the property, plant, and are tangible items that are held for use in the production or supply of goods and services, for rentals to others, or for administrative purposes, and are expected to be used during more than one period. Okay, so that is the property, plant, and equipment. So it means that an item of a spare part or other equipment, once they fall under this, they can be called the word PPE. So they are liable to be what to be treated the way an item of PPE is to be treated in the financial statement. Okay, so like we said, so the property, plant, and equipment, we say they are tangible items. Now, tangible in the sense that they can be seen, touched, and what felt. Okay, that they cannot be what intangible items. They should be what tangible what item that can be seen, touched, and felt. So they are held for use. It should be held for use. Okay, there should be what a continuous what usage of it. That can be held for use in the production or supply of goods and services. That is, this item is aiding the production, as a creation or transformation of goods and services. Okay, help in the production and also what in the supply of these goods and services that was what produced. Okay, for rental, now most time they can be rented out to other persons. Okay, they can be rented out to other persons to also what serve as what as assistants to those persons in terms of what to produce item, also what to supply. So rental to others, or for what administrative purpose. They are used for administrative purposes in the what in the firm, and are expected to be used during more than one period. That means they are expected, in a nutshell, to be what durable. Expect to have what durability, what capacity. So so that is an item of PPE. Okay, so now let's see their initial recognition. So we'll call the initial recognition. Okay, so the initial recognition has to do with how an item of PPE, or the criteria that should ensure that an item of PPE should be recognized. Okay, so it says that an item of PPE, so it says that the cost of an item of a PPE is recognized as an asset if A, it is probable that future economic benefits with the item will flow to the firm. Okay, so an item of PPE, the cost of it is recognized as an asset if this first condition, if it is probable that future economic benefits with the item will flow to the firm. Okay, that is future economic benefit. That is, in the future there will be what a benefit that accrues toward the usage of that item that will flow towards the firm. Okay, so we said that item is what is recognized as an asset. Okay, so the second one is if the cost of the item can be measured reliably. Okay, now these are two conditions. Now the first one, if probable future economic benefit will, with the item will flow to the firm. While the second one, if the cost of the item can be measured reliably, that is the cost, and it's not something that is vague or that is difficult to get that cost. Okay, and it's not something that is difficult. So these are two conditions that serve as initial recognition for an item of PPE. Okay, now let's see also the initial measurement. The initial measurement. Okay, now an item of PPE is initially recorded in their account of the business in their cost. Okay, PPE is usually recorded in the account of the business in their what? Cost. That is the initial measurement of an item of PPE. Okay, it should be recorded in the cost of the item. Now the question now goes, what is cost and how do we classify cost, or what are the elements of a cost? What is cost? That is now the question. Okay, what is cost? Okay, cost is the amount of cash or cash equivalent paid, or the fair value of the other consideration given to acquire an asset at the time of its acquisition or construction. So that's the cost, or the cost of an item of a PPE is the cash price equivalent at the recognition date. Okay, so that is the cost of the item. Okay, so we can say it as the cost of an item of PPE is the amount of cash or cash equivalent paid. Okay, so that is what the cost. Okay, so the initial measurement, we said the PPE is initially recorded in the account of the business in the what? Cost. Okay, so it is recorded in that amount that is paid as a cash or cash equivalent to get that asset. Okay, so let's now see the element of a cost, because a cost might not be just a particular amount that is paid as per the price. It might comprise of different things. Okay, for instance, now if you go to buy an asset, if you purchase an asset, the cost might also include the amount you spend in terms of transportation of getting that item of an asset to the firm, which we call the carriage inward. Okay, so it doesn't only include just the purchase price. So that is what consists of the element. What are the items that gather around to make up a cost? We call it the element of a cost. Okay, so the element of a cost. So say the element of a cost of PPE consists of the first one, will be purchase price after deducting trade discount plus any import tax or non-refundable sales tax. Okay, so that's the first element. So it can be the what? The purchase price. That's the amount you use in buying it. Okay, after deducting a trade discount, and most of them might give a trade discount after deducting it, plus any import tax. Any import tax, that is what we call the import duties, that is paid by what import. For instance, if the goods is being imported from outside the country, definitely you're going to pay import duties. Okay, so the purchase price after deducting trade discount plus the import tax, that's the import duty paid at the what, either airport or the seaport. Okay, or any non-refundable what, sales tax. Any non-refundable what, sales tax. Okay, can comprise of the cost. Okay, now plus number two, another element of this cost is the directly attributable cost of bringing the asset to the location and condition necessary for it to be of operating in a manner intended by management. Okay, now this cost may include employee costs arising from the installation or construction of the asset. Okay, so B, still under number two, will be the cost of the site preparation. C, still under number two, which is the directly attributable cost of bringing the asset to the location and the condition necessary for you to be capable of operating in a manner intended by the management. Okay, the third one under that is the delivery cost, which can be the carriage inwards. Okay, while the fourth, installation of assembly cost. Okay, to assemble it. Testing cost, to assess if the asset is functioning properly. Okay, now this part is always net of sales proceeds of items produced. Net of sales proceeds of items produced. Then F is a professional fees directly attributable to the purchase. Okay, so you see the second element of a cost we said is the directly attributable cost of bringing the asset to the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in a manner intended by the management. So it means that any cost that is directly involved in bringing the asset from where it is purchased to the location and also the costs that involve in ensuring that it is operating in a good manner, okay, that is intended by the management. All cost that is directly attributable to that asset also what is involved in the cost of that item as an element of what PPE. Okay, so we said the first item is the employee cost arising from the installation or construction of the asset. For instance, if I bought an item and it involves some of the employee to install it, the cost of them installing it is also directly attributable to what the cost involved of that asset. So it should be added. The second one is the cost of the site preparation. The cost involved in ensuring that the site is what prepared for the asset. The third one, still under number two, is the delivery cost, would involve the carriage inward, the cost that was paid from bringing it from where it was purchased down to where the company needs it. Okay, why D is the installation of assembly cost. Installation of what? Assembling the what? The item. Okay, the assembly cost is also that. Why the E is testing cost to assess if the asset is functioning properly. Now, most time you have to test it to ensure that it is what? Functioning properly, and this might be done by professional. Okay, so definitely we have to pay the person, and paying the person because of that item, so it means that we should what? Generate the fund that was incurred there and be added to it. And we said this is always net of sales proceed of items produced. Okay, please take note of that. YF we said professional fees directly attributable to the purchase. Professional fees like a consultancy fees, if it is something that the knowledge of its operation or the knowledge of its usage or the knowledge of its maintenance can only be given by a professional. So definitely we can consult that person. So the amount involved in consulting the person can be tagged as what the professional fees that's attributable, since the person is not coming for other item, but particularly for that asset as it were. Okay, so that is the second. Remember, we said the directly attributable cost. That's the second element of a cost. Okay, so now let's see number three, cost of dismantling and removing an asset and restoring the site where it is when has an obligation to dismantle and remove an asset at the end of its useful life. Okay, so the third item that can comprise of an element of a cost is the cost of dismantling and removing an asset and restoring the site where it is located when the entity has an obligation to dismantle and remove an asset at the end of its what? Life. Okay, so the cost that is involved in dismantling and removing that asset and restoring the site where it is located. Okay, so we're going to add it. So these three items broadly is what comprise of what the cost of an item of a PPE. Okay, remember the purchase price after you deduct the trade discount. You add any import tax or import duties, okay, or any non-refundable sales tax, okay, like what we call the VAT, okay, is a non-refundable sales tax, okay. Then number two, directly attributable cost of bringing the asset to the location and the condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in a manner, okay. And these are the items that comprise of that. And the third one, the cost of dismantling and removing an asset. Okay, so these are the three elements of a cost. Now let's see what cannot be included as a cost. Okay, now we have seen what should be included as a cost of an item of a PPE. Now let's see what cannot be included as a cost. Okay, what is not part of a cost. Okay, so the items that are not part of a cost. The first one, the cost of opening a new facility is not included as a cost of an item of a PPE. Okay, the cost of opening a new facility is not included. Okay, take note of that. So the second one, cost of introducing a new product or services. That is, includes advertising and promotional activities. Okay, so this does not involve or add up to the cost of an item of a PPE. That's the cost of introducing a new product or services. Okay, or the cost that is involved in introducing a new product. For instance, if a new product wants to get into the market, there are some things that a firm would do. For instance, the firm will want to advertise. And what is advertising? Any paid form of non-personal communication that brings the awareness of what a product to the public, to the knowledge of the public. So most times they might want to ensure that the public becomes aware that a new product is on sale. Okay, and they might also involve other promotional activity, other sales promotion. Okay, like reduction in the amount or buy one take two free and other item. Okay, those items does not become part of the cost of an item of PPE. So the third one, cost of conducting business in a new location with a new class of customers. Okay, cost of conducting a business in a new location or with a new class of customers, including cost of staff training. Okay, so the cost of conducting a business in a new location with a new class of customers. Okay, so if you move your business to a new location and you see a new class of customer, the cost that is involved in doing that is not a cost of an item of a PPE. While the fourth one, administration and other overhead costs. So these four items is not part of the cost of an item of a PPE. Okay, please know that the cost of opening a new facility, cost of introducing a new product or services, the cost of conducting business in a new location or with a new class of customer, and the fourth one, administration and other overhead costs. Okay, so those are the four items that are not part of the cost. Now let's now see the subsequent expenditure. Subsequent expenditure. Okay, now subsequent expenditure relates to expenditure after the purchase of the item. Okay, the expenditure after the purchase of an item. So it will not be any expenditure that falls under this criteria that we are going to list now should be capitalized. Okay, should be capitalized. Now the first one should be that it improves the asset, that is enhancing its performance or extending its useful life. Okay, now this expenditure should be what? Capitalized. That is, if that cost improves that asset that we have previously recognized, that is enhancing the performance or extending the useful life so that it becomes useful. Okay, now that cost should be what? Capitalized. Okay, that is what the subsequent expenditure. Okay, for instance, we purchase an asset and the useful life is supposed to be 5 years, but we spent money that improved the performance in terms of its production and extended the useful life to extend from that 5 years to either 8, 9, or 10 years. So that expenditure, we call it subsequent expenditure. That's expenditure after the purchase of that item and the recognition of it as a cost. Okay, so we should also what? Capitalize it. Now the second one will be for a replacement cost. For replacement cost, okay, so these are the two for replacement cost, provided that the part that it wants to replace has been recognized, has been disposed. Okay, so if it replaces it, that expenditure should be what? Capitalized. If it replaces a part, okay, that have been seen as being disposed, definitely the expenditure should be what? Capitalize. So definitely, in summary, it means that if a cost or an expenditure will improve the asset, it should be capitalized. But if it is just repair, to repair it, it is not improving the performance or extending the life, it is just repairs, it is just a mere expenditure and should not be capitalized. Okay, so the last part we're going to see for today is measurement after initial recognition. Okay, so the measurement after initial recognition, that means how do we now measure this after we have initially recognized that item as an item of cost. Okay, so the first one will be the cost model. The cost model. Okay, so an item of PP is calculated by the cost less any accumulated depreciation or any accumulated impairment losses. Okay, so the cost model, and the second one will be the revaluation model. Now it means that PPE is carried out on a revaluation amount. Okay, it's carried out on a revaluation amount. So these are the two bases for any measurement after initial recognition. On the cost model, which can be the cost less accumulated depreciation or any accumulated impairment losses. Okay, or the revaluation model will be on the revaluation what? Amount. Okay, so any of these two that is choosing should be done consistently based on the consistency convention in our accounting concept. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop for today. Now in the next class, we're going to continue to see other parts of the IAS 16. Okay, so just drop me where you're watching from, the exam you're preparing, and how this has been helpful. Okay, and if you want part to, just drop in the comment section below. If I see more of that, then we'll continue from there. Okay, thank you very much. Ensure you like, comment, share, and subscribe this video. Ensure you follow me on all social media handles. Okay, so I want to introduce a video for you to watch. I see this video here, watch it. Thank you very much.